Hey there, Kamalawati. Good morning. Beautiful sunrise, the rising sun. Um, I do sometimes in the morning when I realize that I feel things very powerful, particularly when I walk out in the sun, and say thank you for your energy, thank you for your energy, with my hands both up in the air, just like a Y, like a gated Y. The gates. Okay. It is very, very beautiful to be able to experience yourself in love with your universe, which is in love with your mirror, which is in love with your energy, which is in love with the one that you're experiencing. You're experiencing being one with all creation. I don't know of a greater gift than that, because it means that you're experiencing an eternal love vibration through your heart, and that's the one you're with. So I realize I share a lot of things that others do not experience. They've never experienced it. Okay. And so as a result of that, when you understand experience as a teacher, because that's experiential learning, and you're learning what best serves your future. So if you're experiencing what love is, and you're experiencing being with the one, then you know you got a future. And energy, your consciousness, your soul consciousness has got a future, because you're experiencing the one that goes on forever to have one. Because you're experiencing an eternal love vibration. That's pure logic, because that's pure energy, and that's pure consciousness creation energy. And when you're experiencing an eternal love vibration through your whole heart, that's the greatest gift there is, because now you're gifting electrons. So you can see, when I think about this, it's particularly when I share this with other folks, and particularly when I was a little boy, I wanted to give everything away. And that would be as if I just want to go out on the beach the same way I came out of my mother's biological womb, butt-ass naked, which means the assembly. This is what I look like in the mirror, because this is the software that I'm running in the mirror. So my soul consciousness is running the software in the mirror, and I'm butt-ass naked the same way that it was built. Right? And now you get into the use of electrons. And so there is a big difference between pre-matter phase consciousness, which is pure energy, and then experiencing the matter phase, the material side. Right? So this is why when I was a child, there's a difference between one and the other, and that has to do with speed and flash sequences. Because now you're experiencing the program in the matter field. See? So I could be butt-ass naked, or I could wear something. Those are codes. That's matter code programming. Right? So you can imagine how it is at 4 years of age. I don't want to experience being matter. So I don't want to experience in my mirror having to use electrons in order to experience what I'm clothed with. And that would be everything that we purchase in stores and build as a result of a planet that's being raped, which is raping Mother Earth. And Patty Broussard, to her credit, showed that. This is what they did to her. This is what they're doing to her. Because everything that becomes what it is that we build, where's that energy coming from to build it? Us. Mama. So they want us to build a prison complex because they don't have the creative ability to do it. Because they're binary. Okay? And they have no emotional connection to mama. So that's what the goo does. Is cut off the emotional connection. Didn't Harold Kosvela talk about the emotional connection? Right? The love connection that you have with the universe. So you're not experiencing any love, which means you're not experiencing any real light. Now you're experiencing what it is, which is dead light. That's knowing one from the other. That's your artificial intelligence. That's the one that's set up on the planet. That's the one that's flowing through all the phones. That's the one that set up all the telephone poles, put in all the underground cables, set up all the corporate military war machinery. So you're running a war game. You're in a video war game. Your consciousness is running a video war game called Star Wars. That's the truth of it. So this can be easily translated through a program called Democracy Now! And so whenever they kick off that show, what's her name? Amy Goodman. To her credit, she's like a whistleblower because it's coded. Okay, when you think of the metronome or duality or two. So she uses two words that mean something, war and peace. It's called the War and Peace Report. Okay? So you realize that pre-phase matter consciousness is not at war with itself. Now you're in the matter phase. Now you're experiencing the war. Now that's the ping pong metronome game between negative magnetic polarity, positive magnetic polarity. When you become one, pre-phase matter consciousness, you're not experiencing any war. You're at peace, love, harmony, and balance with all creation because you realize you're the gifter. You're now gifting at the highest rate of speed, the acceleration of electrons. You're not an inverter. So you see how this is sort of coded. War and peace. War and peace. The ping pong. War and peace. Which one is it? So you know the difference between the two by the ones that are at war in their own mirror and those that aren't. That's the polarity game. That's the war game video. They want us at war with each other. War in our own mirror. Each other. Knowing one from the other. The polarity. To experience no polarity. No war. And instead experience pure consciousness, which is the purest of light, which is the purest of blood, which is an eternal love vibration. Now you're experiencing, your soul consciousness is experiencing eternal love running software. So you can see how this game works going back and forth between one and the other. And experience being one. Because there's only one. It began with one spiral. That's choosing one from the other. That's choosing one's spiral from the other spiral. And knowing the difference between the spirals and the one you're on, the one you experience being one. With all creation, we're gifting love to. So that's a personal decision. That's not up for me. That's up to all the others. The spiral that they're running. And the future that they choose to experience. Because that's what love is. Love is free will because you're a free spirit. It means your energy is not held captive to the other to experience war in the mirror. So now we're choosing what we load in memory. Now we're into the transmutation machine side of things. Which means imagine that I'm not experiencing using a phone. I'm not experiencing using a laptop. I'm going back to the beginning. Because every time I take a breath, that's what it is. What do you want to experience next? I don't want to experience anything that represents a war machine. The phones and the laptops represent a war machine. Because they're weaponized. So why are people choosing to have a relationship with war and peace? Which is binary. Because they don't know one from the other. They're choosing to have a relationship with dead alien machinery. That's why it was introduced. People gave consent in order to run all the phones, all the laptops, and the communication system. But you can see how it's a two-edged binary sword. Because I can use weaponized communication to communicate with others. So here's a question I can put to humanity. If you were understanding how the morphogenetic field structure works, and you wanted to communicate, if you will, telepathically through your heart and your soul, in order to speed up learning and experiencing a different reality, would you choose to use the phones and the laptops, or would you choose to connect with the oversoul spirit of the Mother Earth and communicating through your heart and your soul, grounded to Mother Earth, and start pushing that energy through the grid. Because it's all censored online. That's why it doesn't allow for you to be able to communicate online. But you can communicate that energy through the sun and through Mama. That's what I do. But what others choose to do is not up to me. I simply share what I've learned by what I do. Because I know how to speed it up, which means speeding up the torque speed on the planet. And when the torque speed is speeding up on the planet, more units of consciousness are experiencing what you are, which is what love is, instead of what the phones and the laptops are not. Because it's dead energy. Knowing the difference between living energy, what's real, and what's not. That's knowing one from the other. That's my opening remarks for Sunday on the Big Island. Have a great solar day.